Welcome. My name is Emily Schickli, and I am honored that you have decided to journey with me in this movement practice. I'm going to be combining a variety of different disciplines designed to support you in getting out of your head, putting away those stressors, the to-dos, the responsibilities, so that you can drop into your body and be in the now. So if you're ready for all of that goodness and to move and feel good and play and have fun on your mat, so you can feel even better off your mat, let's go ahead and get started with a deep breath. So close your eyes for a moment. Take a big breath into your belly, pushing it out in front of you. Inhale into your heart. Exhale out your mouth. Beautiful. Let's get started. So we'll start in a nice juicy child's pose. Knees can be nice and wide on your mat. So separate with space for your belly to relax between them, or you can zip up your inner thighs and keep your knees together for a little bit more of release in your low back. It creates more of a rounding here. So totally up to you. I'm going to keep my knees wide today. You can walk your hands out as far as allows in your body. If you need a little bit more support, feel free to come up onto your elbows. So it creates a little bit more structure here that we aren't stressing out your shoulder joints if you have any mobility issues here today. If it's available for you, you can rest your forehead on your mat, or maybe make two fists like a little tower and rest your forehead on top of your fists. Take a deep breath into your belly, seeing if you can expand your breath into your back body, almost like if you have wings, you could expand out. Exhale, release that breath. Couple more deep breaths just to ground here, making sure your forehead has either contact with your hands or with the mat. It's a really supportive pose, just helping us surrender a little bit deeper into the earth. Again, big breath in, maybe imagining you have a wing that you can expand out. So really getting into your shoulder blades, and exhale out your mouth. So as you sit here in child's pose, supported, I want to invite you to invoke an intention for today. That might be to cultivate a little bit more ease or gentleness, maybe some grounding, maybe just new energy, bringing it in. Whatever it is for you, just take a big breath, maybe even whispering that intention to yourself. Exhale, imagine sending that intention down into the earth. Good, two more breaths, big inhale, whisper that intention. Exhale, send that intention into the earth, surrendering it. Last one, big breath in, stating your intention. Exhale, send it down. Good, release your hands. You can bring them out in front of you in a full child's pose, or slightly pulled underneath you, bending at your shoulders or your elbows. Start to rock your hips side to side. So it might feel good to come up onto your knees and straighten your legs out rather than having them at an angle. Just rock a little bit, getting into your hips. Maybe it feels good to rise up onto your hands now, hopping your hips over to one side. And exhale the other side. Just getting into our lower body. So I invite you to play with your body, maybe moving a little bit more intuitively rather than going with a traditional cat-cow. Might look like a couple barrel rolls, dipping your belly down. Exhale, rounding over to your right. And down to your left. Or maybe it looks like wagging your tail, looking over one shoulder, then the other. If you want to get your neck involved, how's your neck doing? Just check in. Maybe shake it, no, not yes. Take a deep breath into your belly and exhale, flutter your lips, let it go. Good, shake your head, nod your head. Give a little wiggle. All right, hopefully you're feeling a little bit looser. Take a big breath in, tuck your toes. Hike your hips up, keeping your knees bent. Find a modified downward facing dog. So hips up to the sky, knees are bent. You can have your feet a little bit wider than hips width distance, just to support you. So this hopefully feels a little bit more expansive for your low back. So if you're feeling any tension in your low back, just bend your knees even more deeply, almost like you're going to jump towards the top of your mat. Big breath into your belly. Now exhale, so you can straighten your legs. You don't have to straighten them all the way, just as straight as your body allows right now. Then exhale, bend your knees again. So same thing, just move through these two movements. We'll get off our hands in a moment. Just bending your knees. Exhale, straighten. Good. Last one, bend your knees, hold here, look towards your hands, and take a couple of tippy toe walks up to meet your hands. So taking your time here, no sudden movements, start of class. Take a big breath in, maybe bring your hands to your shin bones, flatten your back, squeeze your belly. Exhale, lower down, bowing your head. Let's shake out our spine. So inhale, come back to halfway lift, flat back. And this time as you lower down, see if you can just drop all of your weight. So imagining like you turned into Gumpy, just kind of flop it out. Good, and if you're not sure who Gumpy is, that's kind of an obscure reference potentially. Just think like you're a rubber band, right? So nice and rubbery here. Inhale, hands to your shins, flatten your back, find structure. Exhale, let it go. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, let it go. Good. Keep your hands down towards your mat. If you can't reach the ground, just bend your knees nice and deeply here. Option to find a supported forward fold. So you can either hook your wrists inside your elbows. This is a really nice one, creates a little cradle. Or you can find gorilla pose, walking your palms next to the soles of your feet. Sometimes this can feel a little uncomfortable, so just listen to your body, depending on how big your feet or your hands are. You can use your toes to massage your wrists, your palms. Again, keep your knees bent here. Big breath in. Exhale, release your hands, or if you've had them crossed, go ahead and let them fall down. Inhale, flat palm into your mat, left hand, bend your left knee, start to pull almost like you're drawing an archer's bow with your right hand all the way up to the sky. Spinal twist here, big breath into your heart. Exhale, replace your left hand with your right, palm down, bend your right knee, squeeze your belly, pull your left arm all the way up to the sky, big twist. Big breath in. Exhale, switch sides. Let's do that one more time. Left hand down, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right hand down, bend your right knee, left arm up. Exhale, release. Good. Plant your hands back on your mat, bend your knees, find tabletop, so hands and knees. Take a deep breath in, dip your belly down for cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, cat. Good. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Exhale, stick your right foot back. You can stay here, so just a one-legged plank. Start to bounce your heel, maybe stretching out your calf a little bit if that feels good. Big breath in. Now exhale will open up. So plop your right foot down, starting to stack your hip on top of your knees. And it'll open out into a supported side plank. So I have my left knee down, right leg is extended, left hand down. If you feel really wobbly here, you can kick your left leg out, so opening out behind you for a little bit of more stability and support. It's kind of like a kickstand. You can also really open it out so that it's at 90. opening up your hips. So just play with your body. Maybe you have it in line, maybe you're open. Take a big breath in, reach your arm up to the sky. Exhale, if it feels good, reach overhead towards the front of your mat. You might feel a long stretch all through your side body. I feel it a little bit in my back as well as my obliques. Big breath in. Exhale, round down. Hand comes back to mat. Find your tabletop. So we'll do the other side. Inhale, extend your left leg out. Exhale, press into your heels. So we're stretching out your calves a little bit. You can find a little bit of bounce. Deep breaths in. Exhales out. When you're ready, pause your bouncing, pressing through your heel. You can swing your right leg out. When you feel more stable, left arm up to the sky. So again, we're in that supported side plank. Play around with the angle of your right shin if you want more support. Exhale, reach your left arm overhead. Finding that stretch. Big breath in. Exhale out. One more. Reach a little bit further towards the top of your mat. Exhale, left hand comes back down. Find your tabletop, hands and knees. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle if that feels good. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Exhale, tuck your toes, find your downward facing dog. You can choose here, maybe your knees stay bent like we started, or you can straighten them out if that feels good. Bring your feet together. Inhale, kick your right leg up to the sky. Big breath in. If you want to add on a little bit of core work, you're welcome to, but remember to stay with your intention. So if your intention was gentleness, just go ahead and plop that foot down, finding your low lunge here, like I've just done. If you notice that your foot can't reach all the way up to your hands, that's okay. Maybe you're halfway here. Just lower your left knee down like I've done. So you're kneeling, and then pick up your right foot to move it to meet your hands. When you feel nice and supported, extend, reaching your left knee up towards the sky again, or if you'd like to keep your knee down, you can do that. That feels better today. Big breath into your belly, maybe gaze forwards. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in your inner thighs, your groin. Big breath in. Exhale, see if you can press through your right heel as you shift your hips back. So straightening your right knee a little bit. Make sure you have a bend here. Again, if that makes you feel really wobbly or it's just too intense of a stretch, come back down to your left knee and then go ahead and straighten your right leg. So you might even feel a stretch across your foot. Oftentimes when we're in this pose, we'll pick up our toes. For today, I want you to keep your feet, your toes down. So feeling a stretch all along the front of your leg as well as your hamstring. And again, if you have your leg lifted, it'll look like this. Big breath in. Exhale, rebend your right knee. Finding your hip flexor stretch. Maybe your knee is down, your left knee is down, maybe it's lifted. Let's shift back one more time. Your variation, take a big breath in. You can come onto the fists of your hands if that's more supportive for you. I find it's a little bit easier to balance. Big breath into your belly. Exhale out your mouth. Good. Release, bending both knees, finding your tabletop or hands and knees again. Option to move through a vinyasa if that's something that you want to add today. I'm not going to do one because my intention is to keep it nice and gentle. So totally up to you. When you're done, or if you're skipping, we'll just meet in downward facing dog. Take a big breath in, bending your knees. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, straighten. Last time, inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, straighten. Good. Feet together, inhale, left leg up behind you. Exhale, step it through for your low lunge. Same tip as last time. If you didn't get it all the way up, you can lower your right knee and pick it up with your hands. Finding your low lunge, maybe that's supported with your knee down, or right knee is straight behind you. Take a big breath in here, find your stability. Maybe you notice your right hip is kind of tips down, so you can lift it up so it's in line with your left hip. Big breath in here, using your core to support you. Press into your left heel as you shift your hips back. Again, you can lower your knee down and do this here. If you do have your knee lowered down and you shift your weight back and your hip is way beyond your knee, you'll want to actually inch your left foot forward so that you can stack your knee and your hip. Take a big breath here. Exhale, rebend, maybe gaze forwards. You can also come back onto your fists if that feels more supportive, then out for balance. Exhale, press back. Take a big breath here. We're gonna hang out for a little bit. Maybe play with your hip alignment. Just notice what happens if you lift your right hip up a little bit more or forward. Let's see what feels best in your body. Just bring in a little bit of curiosity and wonder to your practice today. And inhale, rebend your left knee. Take a big breath in. Send it all the way into your hip flexor. Exhale, last time, straighten. One more big breath in. Exhale. Bend both knees, find your tabletop, hands and knees. Palms come back to your mat if they've traveled. Give yourself a little wiggle. Feel free to find a vinyasa if that's something that's calling your name. And then when you're ready, tuck your toes, find downward facing dog. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, stick out your tongue. Good. Bend your knees deeply, walk your hands back towards your feet, finding a forward fold. Then you can choose to tuck your hands into your elbows, letting your elbows hang freely. Maybe find gorilla pose if you liked that last time or you were curious. Or maybe just wrap your arms around your calves, pulling your chest towards your thighs. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale out your mouth. Release your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Squeeze your belly. Exhale, flop it out, let it go. Inhale, bend your knees. This time we'll slowly roll all the way up to standing. Inhale, floating your hands. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Good. Press into your palms here so you can create a little bit of tension between your fingers. Inhale, reach back up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do that again. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, flop it out. Inhale, bend your knees, slowly stack your spine. See if you can tuck your chin into your chest. So you get that nice roll up sensation. Inhale, float your hands. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. So inhale, raise your arms all the way up. Exhale, rotate so you can see me. Step your right ankle over your left. Take a big breath in. Reach your arms all the way up. You can make a little bit of a pointer shape, almost like a triangle shape with your hands. And exhale, kick your hips out to your left, creating a little bit of a crescent moon shape as you start to inhale, staying in this long line. So the tendency to twist in our torso. See if you can keep it flat, almost like you're leaning against a wall. Then exhale, reach your arms towards your right. Just notice the difference in this side bend versus the one on the ground. Maybe you have a preference. Maybe your body is communicating with you in some way. Just acknowledge that. And take a big breath in, exhale, coming back to center. Good. Now inhale here, start to sit your hips back. So keeping your ankles crossed, sit your hips back. Fingers point towards the front of your mat, starting to get into your IT band. So sides of your legs here. You might start to feel your core activate. Make sure you're using your core, not your lower back. So you might have your hips tilted out. See if you can tuck your pelvis a little bit here. So it's a very subtle motion where you have a curve in your back. Then exhale, when you tuck, your back is flat. So you want to go for a flat back. Squeeze your belly here. Hold for 3, 2, 1, melt to the ground. You may or may not be able to touch the earth. If you feel a little bit like you're going to fall over, just walk your feet further away from each other. Give more of a gap between your pinky toes. Try not to lock out your back knee. That's a very common tendency. So just slight bend in both knees, almost like you're going to take a little squat here. Slight bend in both knees. Play around. Just notice, listen to your body today. Take a big breath in. Exhale, squeeze your core if you want a little bit of a challenge. So you're going to lift your arms up before you roll up. Ooh, squeeze your core to lift you to stand. Nice. So go into eagle pose. So keeping your legs crossed, just hike your right foot up. So I'm slowly drawing my right leg up, bending my knee, then exhale, sitting back in a little bit of a quarter squat. If that doesn't feel available for you today, you can just stay here or maybe go into a figure four. So knee is wide, or maybe a tree pose. Knee is very wide. So 3 options: tree pose, figure four sitting back, or eagle cross legs sitting back. You choose based on your body today. Once you do, feel free to play around with your hands and your torso. So in eagle and figure four, we tend to be at an angle. See if you can pull using your core yourself a little bit more upright, even as you're squatting. And then if you want to play around with your arms, you can maybe make a T shape, a little cactus shape, or go for crossing your arms. So making a little X, left over right. Maybe you're making branches. So I'm giving you lots of options today. I want you to listen to your intention, listen to your body. And maybe you play between all 3. It's kind of fun that way. It's a progression. Wherever you are, take one more breath. Then exhale, release both feet parallel. Take them out, shake out your hands, give a full body shake and maybe a little head motion, really great for stress relief. Let's do that one more time. So big breath in, exhale, shake it out. Maybe you stick out your tongue, lion's breath. Let's do the other side. So inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold. So we're starting in our forward fold here. Big breath in, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, shake it out. Good, bend your knees. Inhale, slowly stack your spine, reaching your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Good, opposite foot crosses, so left over right for me. Take a big breath in, reaching your arms up. We're gonna find our little side bends. So instead of pushing your hips to the left, you're gonna push them to the right. So opposite direction as the front foot. So if you're doing a different side, that's okay. So hitch your hips over to the right. Exhale, arms over to your left. Now again, we tend to twist down. So you can check out your alignment. If you can see your left arm, then you're gonna wanna open up a little bit more. So you can't see either of your arms in your peripheral vision. Big breath in. Just notice how this side feels. Exhale, let it go. One more big breath. And exhale. Inhale. Find yourself straight again. When you're ready, exhale, push your hips back. Fingers point forwards. So again, we're kind of aiming for 90 here. Hips are pressing away. So I have a slight angle between my feet and my hips. And again, my knees are slightly bent. Squeeze your core here. Notice if you can tuck your hips. Squeeze your belly rather than having that curve in your back. Big breath in, nice and slow. Slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Option here to widen your stance if that feels good. Slight bend in your knees. Take a big breath here. Exhale, press your hips back. You might notice you might not even feel the stretch in this pose. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It really depends on how much I've been sitting. Take a big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Good. When you're ready, you want to challenge yourself, lift one arm up, squeeze your belly, lift the other one up. So your heels slowly rise. Next, we'll go into our balances and then pose. So choose your venture here. Eagle pose, figure four, or tree pose. Pressing your hips back to start. Place your weight into your right foot. Nice little pretzel here. Then exhale, float your left knee, find your variation. So eagle pose, it's like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. Figure four, your knees out wide. Rotate. Make sure your feet are flexed here to support you in your joints. Or maybe tree pose, you can bring your foot to your calf. Maybe you have a little bit of a kickstand. Or if you went for the full variation, just make sure it's above your knee. Either one is better than the other. We oftentimes think full variation is preferred, but it really just depends on your body. So it's not really about looking a certain way, it's about challenging your balance and making sure that you can keep your hips in alignment during tree pose. Meaning that your hips are like headlights facing forwards. If you have like kind of an awkward angle, like you can't bring your foot or your knee parallel, then I'd recommend sticking with figure four or maybe a variation on tree pose. It's better for your joints. And maybe you pick your kickstand up, you wobble. Take a couple more breaths here, just get to yourself to play. Maybe bring your torso back so that you're in more of a straight line. Maybe you play with your hands. Maybe you challenge yourself by moving around. Maybe you're in a really gentle standing position. Big breath in. When you're ready, exhale, step your feet wide, and let's shake it out. Good. Shake it out one more time. Big breath in, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, drop your arms. Let it go. One more time. I know I already said that, but let's do it one more time. Exhale, let it go. Whew. All right. If you have to hop off, you can actually end here. This is a fine place to end. If you want to join me for a little bit of a cool down meditation, feel free to stay on for another 2-3 minutes. But I just want to acknowledge that we have come to the end of the half hour. All right, if you want to stay with me, you can find a seat, or you can lay down flat on your back. Up to you. If you want to find a seat, you can cross your ankles here, nice flat back. Maybe you do a little bit of a twist when you're seated, or if you want to lay down on your back, I'll guide you into a twist laying down. So if you're seated, inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, twist towards your right. A easy twist here. Inhale, float your arms back up. Exhale, twist left. Okay, let's do it one more time. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, forward. Exhale, up. Good. You can find a comfortable seat, or if you want to join us on your back, you're welcome to lower down. If you're already on your back, you want to go into a twist. You bring your arms out to a T or a cactus shape. Pull your knees into your chest, flop them over to your right. Maybe gaze in the opposite direction. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Deep cough. Inhale back to center with your knees. Exhale, flop your knees to the left. Little spinal twist here, gazing over your right shoulder. Big breath in. Exhale. Side out. And inhale, bring your knees back to center. And we'll all go into a short little meditation. So if you want to find Shavasana on your back, it can be really restorative. Palms up, legs long, arms long by your sides. Or maybe your knees feel better if they're bent. You can really release your low back. You can walk your feet out the width of your mat, knock your knees together, and cross your elbows over your chest. It's a really great pose to end in as well. So you choose. If you're on your back, you can also stay seated if you're just enjoying that experience. All right. Go ahead and close your eyes if that feels supportive for you. Take a big breath into your belly. Exhale out your mouth. And take another big breath in. Exhale. Let that go. Just bring your attention back to your intention for today. Whatever that was. Maybe it was to be more gentle. Maybe it was just to get into your body, feel more grounded. Something else. I invite you to give that intention a little bit more breath. So we surrendered it to the ground, to the earth at the start of class. I want you to see if maybe anything's shifted. Maybe you were able to just surrender and experience that intention. Maybe now you can bring that intention back into your body with your breath so that you can send it out into the rest of your day. So big breath in, inhaling that new wonderful energy. Exhale out your mouth. Take a big breath in, allowing yourself to feel and embody this energy. Noticing maybe where it is in your body. Maybe it's your heart, your belly, your left toe. And taking another deep breath here, I invite you to ask yourself, what do I need the rest of today? Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe there's one little action that you can do for yourself so that this doesn't just end up being 30 minutes and then you go back to however you're feeling before. What's something you can do to integrate how you feel? And just trust whatever comes up, and if nothing comes up, that's okay. Just trust that it will appear at some point when you're ready. And then slowly bring some movement back into your body, just appreciating your body for this time, this space, the fact that you showed up, which is often the hardest part. And move yourself onto a side, just being really gentle. Eventually make your way to a seat if you're not there already. Take one more big breath in, maybe pancaking your hands over your heart. Exhale out your mouth.